evening. Welcome to the workshop session of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, and we have a quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, and Arnold. And so we will get started with the workshop session at this time. I think our first item on the agenda has to do with the North Georgia water planning. Believe that, Madam Clerk?
Discussion regarding adopting the Georgia Water Planning District Model, the ordinance adopting the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District Model ordinance on local drought response and water waste as prepared by staff to comply with Regional Water Resources Management Plan requirements. This item is being presented by Brian Anderson, Public Works Director.
Good evening, Mr. Anderson. How are you?
Doing fine. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good evening,
thank
Mayor
you.
and Council. How's everybody? City Manager, City Clerk. I was supposed to have someone from the engineering firm that we contract out to who help us with this particular audit, and this is part of the Metropolitan North Georgia Water, the acronyms. District. And as part of that, we had to adopt these two ordinances. One is about drought. And so there's going to be here to answer any questions that you might have about this ordinance. But I will do the best that I can to answer your questions as well.
All right, we'll start with Councilmember McKenzie. Any questions?
No question.
Councilmember Card?
Hey, Brian,
How you doing, Mayor Pro Tem?
no questions.
Okay.
Councilmember Arnold?
Good evening, Mr. Anderson. I don't have any questions. Thank
Okay.
you.
And I did not have any questions about it. It looked pretty straightforward. We need to make sure that we are using water properly and conserving it where we need to in the event of drought.
Yes. We are currently in the level 1
That's right.
response level. So, yes.
All right, so moving on to item number 2.
Item 2 is discussion regarding the adoption of local amendment to Plumbing Code, Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District Water Efficiency Code, to adopt an ordinance finding that based on local climatic, geographic, and public safety factors, it is necessary to adopt water efficiency standards more stringent than the Georgia Plumbing Code. This item is being presented by Timothy Lewis, Water Superintendent.
Except you're not
I'm here.
Timothy Lewis.
I'm
Right.
here in the steed right now. Yes.
Fair enough. Mr. Anderson, did you have anything to add to this?
No, it's pretty straightforward to me as well.
Yeah. It is pretty straightforward. Councilmember McKenzie, any questions?
No questions.
Councilmember Karn?
No questions.
Councilmember Arnold?
No questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. Appreciate you and your team's work on this.
Thank you very much.
Next item is discussion on an ordinance to amend Chapter 4, Animals and Fowl of the City's Code of Ordinances to update dangerous dog regulations. This item is sponsored by Councilman Roderick Gay.
All right. Is there someone here to present on this?
I can just speak on it just briefly. The centerpiece of this update to the ordinance fundamentally changes the way that we regulate animals. Previously, as you may be aware, or currently I should say, it's based on breed. So certain breeds are identified as a dangerous breed. That is kind of an outdated way of regulating animals, and now it has shifted to a behavior-based model. And that's what we see at the state of Georgia level, and we see neighboring communities have adopted a model that's based on the behavior of the specific animal. And there's even a due process requirement when we classify an animal as a vicious animal. And so we have gone away from just dangerous breeds to looking at the behavior of specific animals and then making a classification on that basis. And that's kind of the centerpiece. This is timely because we're working towards a dog park in College Park, and I think that having a more enlightened and updated approach to how we regulate animals is in order.
All right. Councilmember McKenzie, any questions?
So I had a question. Yeah, my question was, and I'm still trying to get it answered. So basically, are we saying that the current standard that we have in terms of what dogs are considered to be, what breeds are considered to be dangerous, such as Rottweilers or pit bulls or those types of dogs would no longer have to be registered in the city of College Park?
That's exactly right. So you can no longer say, well, you have a pit bull, and bulls are categorically vicious and dangerous breed, and so we have one uniform treatment of all pit bulls. We're moving, this would, you may like that and want to stick with it, but this ordinance would move us away from that, and it would be based on the behavior of the individual animal.
So basically, we just have to wait to see if the dog does bite somebody or viciously attacks a person in order for us to now decide if that's a dangerous dog.
That's exactly what this.
I have an issue with that.
Councilmember Carn?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. This was enacted due to a dog attack, and it wasn't a fatal situation, but I don't know where this comes from, but this weakens the city's safety, point blank, period. Dangerous dogs and the classification of dangerous dogs. Now, we caught a little bit of heat when we put this together, and who came to call in? I think Peter sent us some emails, and they said, what did they call it? They said, you all are committing doggy discrimination. And I said, I'd never heard of that one, dog discrimination. And it was laughable to me, to be honest. Nothing against Peter. But my obligation is not to dogs. My obligation are to the residents. And at the end of the day, we classified the classifications of animals that are persistently dangerous dogs. Now, does that mean lock up every dangerous dog? No. Does that mean assume every dangerous dog is going to maul somebody? No. It requires, for those large breed of dogs that have a propensity towards aggression and are large enough to actually kill someone, are classified with some requirements that are sensible requirements. Those dog breeds, if they're coming into this city, and folks, keep in mind, this city is 78% rental. When you add it up, and when I see year after year somebody breeding pit bull pups on the patio of their apartment complex, it don't add up. And that does not work, period. It does not prosecute these dogs. It requires they have insurance. It requires that they have their tags, proper tags. It requires that they have their shots. In some cases, one of the electronic ID chips, little grain of rice that goes under their skin. These are sensible requirements for public safety in this city. Loosening that up is going in the wrong direction. So now, I will say that the current standard for dangerous dogs is not enforced enough in the city for the most part. Now, that's a problem, because I get calls. I mean, we got a dog catcher, but, again, that's the city manager issue. And that's something else for your to-do list, but no, I'm not interested in changing this at all. I'm not gonna weaken legislation and then somebody get mauled. You can't base a dangerous dog on their personality. That makes about as much sense as saying, well, let's eliminate the dangerous alligator rule, and we're gonna gauge the alligators by their personality. Maybe this alligator ain't so bad, or this snake is not so bad. Well, I don't have time for that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, my obligation is to the residents, not to the animals. So until dogs start voting, that's all I got.
Councilmember Arnold?
I don't know that I have to add anything else to what my colleagues have already said, because I agree with what they both have said previously about this ordinance. There were some concerns that I had from the beginning. I think that we should keep the legislation that we have in place. And I agree that we need a way to be able to enforce to record, to report, and to follow up on situations where there are dogs that are in the community that are dangerous breeds that are just running our streets. I have had constituents to call, and the city manager is aware, on a regular basis about pit bulls that are running around, roaming the streets off of Godby Road, and we have yet to catch them. Now, I have constituents that are afraid to go out of their homes because of these dogs. And so I don't think that, I agree, we should not be loosening legislation. We should be enforcing the legislation that's already in place. I get it. We have this new dog park that has opened up, and I have one that's coming on Godby Road, so I get it. Yeah, you want to be able to have, people to bring their dogs out, and they want their dogs to have fun too. We get it. However, we also have two different sections for the dog park. Larger breeds can go over here, smaller breeds can go over there. But it is up to their owners to make sure that they are there and managing their dog. If you know you have an aggressive dog, don't take it to the dog park. Your dog bite. All dogs bite at the end of the day. But they have teeth, is what my mom always say. They have teeth, they'll bite. But this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So I agree with my colleagues.
I have an addition as well.
Councilmember McKenzie?
And then even looking at this particular legislation, it's stating basically in the dog parks that all dogs could run around until their behavior shows that they should not be running freely. And I have a problem with that, because again, what we're saying is we're waiting for the accident to happen rather than preventing the accident from happening. I think that all dogs, I wouldn't say that certain dogs would be prohibited in the city of College Park, but I believe that we still need to follow the process of them being registered and follow procedures. Because as my colleague said, all dogs do bite, but we know certain ones are prone. They have bigger teeth. I was out years ago with a sister, and we had a little tiny dog, and seemed like a little friendly dog at the door, and that dog bit her right there on Herschel Road, and we weren't expecting that. So all dogs do bite, and larger dogs have a bigger bite.
That's true.
Councilmember Gay, we are discussing the proposal to change the ordinance in regard to dangerous and vicious dogs. Did you have anything to add?
Well, first off, man, I apologize for being late. The only thing I would like to add, it may have already been said, is that I don't know how much the previous ordinance has even been enforced since 2011. And I have a breed that would be considered dangerous, and I have firsthand to know that I think it's more the behavior than the breed, socialization of the owner. I think it's more how the dog was socialized and kept. I was telling someone, if you catch any kind of dog, leave him on the chain all day, he become vicious. So I think this ordinance may need to be removed.
Which ordinance?
That we have to register certain breeds because they're dangerous. Is that what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about. I just wanted to make sure that when you said this ordinance, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the
Yeah, I thought you were
proposal
talking about the-
or if you were talking about, or the current one.
The current.
I understand. Mr. Denmark, you said the state had gone in the direction of classifying individual animals based upon their behavior. When did they do that?
I have no idea, Mayor. My staff put this together, so I didn't do the independent research, but that's my understanding.
Do you have a sense of what neighboring communities are doing?
Not all of them, but I know City of South Fulton and the City of Jonesboro, we looked at what they did in crafting this, and they have a similar model that is being proposed here.
Any additional questions? All right. Hearing none, I think that concludes our business for the workshop. We'll see everybody at 7:30.